Hey everybody, welcome to Sorta Casual Games YouTube channel. My name is Jay, aka MrGhostProtocol, and I'd like to welcome you to Sorta Casual Games. Now, for those who watch our weekly podcast, we have a segment which is called Weekly Comic Bookie of the Week, where we basically talk about the weekly gaming comics that come out every week to let you know. So therefore, you know, whether you're into certain games and you want to, I don't know, follow the story or, you know, the lore, whatever, go more in depth, you know, just let you know that there's comics out there for you to read and get into. But yes, I was having a conversation with somebody and someone said to me, Jay, like, how many comics do you have? Like, how many gaming comics do you have right now? And I was actually thinking about it, and I own quite a bit. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do a video just showing you my gaming collection of comics. So that's basically what I'm going to do. So let's get into it. Okay, so let me start with the most recent collection that I have at the moment. Basically, for those that have not been watching our podcasts, basically I own the God of War comic collection. It is a short mini-series 1 to 4, published by Dark Horse, Santa Monica Studios. I'm assuming obviously they wrote the story. And it basically picks up just before the game, so this might be a really good comic for you that are into God of War to pick up. Even though it was coming out, it was quite difficult to get hold of, I'm not going to lie. So for those out there that are looking to get it now, it might be quite expensive. I think these were probably like about £4. I think some of these it might have been £5 per issue, so God knows how much it's going to be now, because this is a really popular comic book series. God of War, one of my favourite games. I own it, I love God of War, and I had to get the comic. So God of War, so that's one. Let's put that down there. The second one, it is actually The Last of Us. Now, The Last of Us American Dreams is another short mini series 1 to 4, also published by Dark Horse, and it was actually my co-host, Freezer Girl 77, Karen Chan. She was the one who actually got this for me. She actually got it for quite cheap, considering how much like everyone else was selling it on eBay for. So this is like a collector's edition. As I said, it's published by Dark Horse, probably written by Naughty Dog, obviously. They probably gave it the okay, and it's more, and this basically goes into the story, more in-depth story, with like Ellie and Riley and stuff, so which is really cool, kind of like showing when they was just together and stuff. And yeah, it's just really good, a really good read. It's really short, you can get into it, anyone can get into it. If you wanted to get this, you would probably have to go to look on eBay, and it will be pretty expensive, but it's definitely worth having, definitely a collector's edition. Oh, another thing that I've noticed, that with The Last of Us and God of War, that with the special editions and the art books and stuff like that, they tend to like be, the art books are mostly published by Dark Horse, so it kind of makes sense that Dark Horse is the one that's obviously publishing the comics, because that's what they mainly do, publish comics. So get your hands on that if you can. So that's one of my favorites, obviously. The third one is another short mini-series. Again, it is 1 to 4, and it is Tekken. Now, I think that these actually came out probably just before the game, if I'm not mistaken. That's issue 3. And I think a lot of the covers are actually, these are like cover C or cover B, or cover D. Oh, okay, actually cover D. These were published by Titan Comics and stuff. It's a nice little read. And these weren't that expensive, to be honest with you. But again, these came out like before Tekken 7, so it's been a while now. So if you want to get your hands on these might cost you a little bit, but yeah, really good. I would recommend for those who love Tekken, go and pick this up. More extra story, more lore, and yeah, Tekken. Let's put this down here. Now the next one is Devil May Cry 3 manga books. I got these years ago, and there was actually meant to be a third book which never came out, but I think some of the story might have got leaked online, but as it stands there's only 2 manga books, and I got these when they first came out, and it's basically just story leading up to Devil May Cry 3. Really good. Devil May Cry 3 is one of my favourite games, and for those who've been watching the podcast and follow Sorta Casual Games YouTube channel, you already know that I'm playing Devil May Cry 5 and I'm still playing it, and it's one of my favourite games of the year so far, up there with Resident Evil 2 Remake. So this is really good. If you want to find out more lore, more story in regards to Devil May Cry, Dante and Virgil, pick up these 2 books. I'm not too sure how much these books would be now. I don't know, maybe between £5 to £10 maybe. I'm not even too sure if you can even get these brand new anymore. Maybe you can go to your local comic book store and just have a look. But yeah, this is published by Tokyo Pop. Yeah. And make sure you're over the age of 16, because that's what it says on the back. Yeah, but anyway, Devil May Cry 3. One of my favourites. Okay, so yeah, so basically so let me tell you a little bit more about when I started getting into comics, because basically I was about 21, and it was like the second time going back to college and stuff, and met a bunch of people that was in the same class as me, doing graphic design and so forth and so on, and we're into comics and stuff, and that's how I kind of got into comics. When I was younger, I always thought that comics were a little bit daunting, a lot of Marvel and DC comics, because it was like, if I wanted to start reading about Batman, there's like God knows how many stories, and I always felt that it was a bit daunting to go back and read all these different stories and stuff. It was just too much, so I just never was really into it. I felt like I couldn't get into it, or I couldn't find a cool avenue to get into comics. But I actually got into comics because of Street Fighter, because of games. When I found out that Street Fighter was actually doing, or Capcom should I say, were actually doing comics, that was like a gateway for me to get into comics, and through that's how I got into getting a lot of comics. Got into a little bit of Marvel. I'm more of a DC fan when it comes to comics and stuff. I just prefer the characters and the world and the darker kind of aspect to the world of superheroes and stuff. But it was actually through games. It was actually through Street Fighter. So a lot of the comics I actually own are actually Street Fighter comics, Capcom comics, should I say. So these are actually some of the very first comics that I actually got when I was like 2021. So this is like the first print original Street Fighter. Actually, this is quite cool because it's actually like in 3 parts. Can't really do it so you can see it, but it's actually really cool. These were all published by Udon at the time, but before they were published by Udon, I could swear they were published by Image for the first few issues, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but it wasn't always them, Udon, that published them. But from then to now, Udon is the publisher that publishes these comics, obviously in conjunction with Capcom. So yeah, so it was original Street Fighter collection series, and I actually missed like the first 5-6 issues of this, which was like really annoying. So I just because I love Street Fighter, I just didn't give a shit at the time, so I just started collecting them. But I think it was late last year, they did reprints of the first 6, and they were actually called Street Fighter Reloaded. Yeah, Reloaded. Also published by Udon, and yeah, these were these are practically reprints, but I had to get these. These are first prints of the reprints. Technically, it's like the 30th anniversary, and yeah, art. I mean, the artwork in this is just amazing, beautiful. Like, what I will say about the God of War and the Last of Us comics and the Tekken, that like, in my personal opinion, the artwork is okay. You know, it's different styles. It's not particularly, you know, the type of artwork that I'm really into. Like, with me, it's got to have like really amazing artwork. It's got to have like cool story. You know, like there's a bunch of things that like have to be ticked for me to be into a comic. And more for like God of War and Last of Us, I got them, one, because I wanted to read more about the story, more about the lore, and secondly because the games were just amazing and I just wanted to find out more, you know, and thirdly because you know, I'm a collector and I'm a collector of things that I love, and God of War and The Last of Us, they're two games that I'm very passionate about and games that I love, and they're up there in my, probably in my top 20 or 30 whatever games of all time, but it's up there, top tier games. So yeah, so basically when these came out for Street Fighter, and I was very happy, so I had to get these. It's very important because you know, I actually missed the first 6 of these, which was really annoying, but yeah, so I got them, and I was able to not complete this run, this series of run, but yeah, just to get the first 6 was important to me. Yeah, and this one here is Street Fighter Shadowloo Special, so it's like a one-off. It came out late last year as well. You know, pick this up. Yeah, so a lot of my comics are actually Street Fighter, but this was I was actually enjoying reading these, and but obviously I missed quite a few issues, and even after, you know, for other, you know, like for certain circumstances I couldn't get the other issues and stuff, and, you know, but I kind of made up for that later on. But anyhow, then they did a second series, which was Street Fighter 2, and they did a Street Fighter 2 Zero issue, you know, also published by Udon, art, animation, beautiful, and it comes with a special event Chun-Li card, you know, I don't know, but had to get this. And yeah, then from getting this, like, this was only like £2, it was £1.99, so after getting this, obviously I started to collect, and you know, like the artwork and story's always been really cool. I've always felt like with the games that they've always kind of like, in terms of the story, it's always been a bit half-hearted or a bit all over the place, and I kind of felt like this was a good opportunity to get more in depth into the story, like, well, into the story of the Street Fighter world, shall I say, you know. So that's why it was a big thing for me to get these comics. Got some beautiful covers here, beautiful covers, and yeah, it was just important for me. You know, I think during this time, like now, like when I get a lot of comics and stuff, I always want, like, you know, the cover A has to be first print, and all of these were first print, but back when I was collecting these, I wasn't particularly fussed about whether it was like the cover A or cover B or whatever. The most important thing to me was just to get the comic, because like, I felt like I was, you know, it was just important just to get the issue and read it, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is this is basically a continuation from Street Fighter, obviously Street Fighter 2. It's quite clever the way they've done the comics in terms of you know, the new runs, like the new stories and stuff. They just like basically just use the name, so it's cool. Yes, then obviously I started collecting Street Fighter Legends Shakira from Street Fighter Alpha. Street Fighter Alpha was like one of my favourite games. Loads of stories and memories of playing that back in the day. And when they released these I had to get them, and these is again amazing artwork, you know, really cool story. Like, I didn't get all the issues, I missed quite a few, but I got the first 4, which was like important for me. But some of these are like just basically cover B, cover C's, but you know, back then I just didn't particularly care. But yeah, these are cool. Basically just based on Shakira's story and stuff like that. Really cool. Yeah, so that's Street Fighter Legend Shakira. Okay, let's see. This one is a gem. This is a gem. Now for those out there that are big into fighting games, well, Capcom are kind of having like a like they're going through their second renaissance mode or whatever you want to call it, but through the golden age of Capcom, if that's what you want to say, when you had games like Street Fighter and Rival Schools and all sorts. Rival Schools was a big deal for me, and when I found this, I had to get this. This was a big deal. Rival Schools, United by Fate, and Rival Schools Project Justice is probably one of my favourite Rival Schools games. For those out there, that play Rival Schools or played Rival Schools, if you want to try to get the game now, the game is fucking expensive, but it's an amazing game. So I've got Rival Schools. Actually, to tell you the truth, before this even came out, it was a Capcom released a summer special 2004, and in it had basically had featuring Rival Schools Legion of Heroes. So it's kind of like basically just a little introduction to this. But this was only one issue. It was literally only one issue, and this. So it was a big deal, a very big deal. Very big deal. Special edition. And it also featured Street Fighter in here as well, and Darkstalkers. It was another godlike game that came out in what I probably would consider Capcom's golden era. With Mega Man and all the other games out there, But yeah, so these are gems, like gems for me. And if you want to try to find it online, good luck. But you probably got to find it, and if you've got the money, then get it. I think this was probably 2 years ago, I picked this up, and it was only, from what I can remember, it was only just one issue, issue 1. So it was Street Fighter 5: The Life and Death of Charlie Nash, I'm talking about. Yeah, this is cover A basically, and I think it's only one issue. If there was another issue, I probably missed it, but I remember there only being one issue because I was quite into this. And this is actually really good, obviously it's just more backstory into Charlie and stuff. And yeah, again, with a lot of Capcom's comics and stuff, really good art, animation. Like I won't go through like the artists and stuff like that of all these comics, we'd be here all night, but really good, amazing comic. I just wish that they would have continued with it, but I don't know, maybe it just didn't really pick up any traction. And last year picked up these two. So Street Fighter Summer Sports Special. This is the Chun-Li one, obviously, and this is the Cammy-chan. Cammy being one of my favourite characters in Street Fighter. I had to get these two. And yeah, I wanted to get there was meant to be like a Nicki Minaj Chun-Li one. That one was hard to get. I would have loved to have got that one, but I just couldn't. But these two, these are my favourite characters. They're basically the same thing. This is just basically like bits of artwork. So it's not even mini stories or introduction to comics like the other one was. This is just artwork and stuff. It's really cool to have, and being a fan of Street Fighter and stuff, I had to get these two. So yeah, but these weren't cheap. I think these were probably like £5 each. Because the thing is that like comics are normally about £3.50, £3.70. That's and especially if you buy it online on eBay or whatever, you always get free back and board, which is why I always mention in the segment as well. Wherever you get your comic books from, and you do buy it online, sometimes it was a kind of a benefit to get online, because most of the time you get free back and board. But in saying that, go to your comic book store. Like, don't just always order it online, because I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of sometimes been a bit lazy and just order it online. But from time to time, make a conservative effort to go to the comic book store and go and look at comics and buy comics and stuff. Obviously, you don't get free back and board, but you can't really trade free back and board with the experience of getting comics. To the comic book store. So yeah. Anyway, the next and this is probably the final mini-series, well not mini-series, but final series, shall I say, of gaming comics that I have. Is actually Darkstalkers. Bah. Now, Darkstalkers was one of my favourite games, and when they did this, and I think I've got all of them to be honest, so this is issue 1, issue 2, and again a lot of these are like cover Bs or whatever, because back then you just got what you could. You went there and like, a lot of these comics were just pretty much sold out, so what was left on the shelf was just left. You just had no choice but to get it. But yeah, I think this is cover A. It's quite cool. Felicia and Morgan, and yeah, another cover A. Okay, so the last 3 were basically cover A's and stuff, but yeah, this is one of my favorite series and stuff, and yeah, it was really short. It was only 6 issues, I think, but yeah, really good. And like the same artist that does the art for the Street Fighter comics, so it's top tier. You know what I mean? Like the artwork is basically bordering between manga-ish kind of style, but really cool, So this is like one of my favorites. I do have some foil comics, Street Fighter comics and Darkstalker comics and stuff, but I won't bring them out. They're like sealed away, yeah, they're basically going down to, well, going to be passed down to certain members of my family, or certain sets of people, because they're worth a bit of money, some of them. So I won't bring them out, but maybe I might bring them out one day. Anyway, so last but not least, as I was saying before, because I actually missed a lot of the series, Street Fighter and stuff like that, and some issues, and so I made it a big thing to go and pick up the graphic novels. So basically, this is Street Fighter. This is round 1. Had to pick this up. So whatever issues I was missing, I'm not missing them now because I can now read it. And this is book 2, and this is the second book. But this went on for a while. This went on for a good while. Okay, this was published by Devil Dude. Okay, yeah, 2005. Wow. That's how long ago it was. And this was book 3, a bit thicker, as you can see, compared to this one. It was a lot thicker. But I actually missed a lot of these issues, so I was really happy to pick this up, because if I didn't get these, then I would have missed the story and I would have been pissed. And you had the 4th book, which is the bonus stage, is what it says. And a lot of these, like this one came out. Okay, I got this one from Forbidden Planet because this sticker's still on here for $9.99. Anyway, but yeah. So I had to pick these up, and we've got issue 5. So like a lot of these, I've got like this foil kind of look on the graphic novels and stuff on these books, and I kind of like that it's got that shine and stuff. It just reminds me of the actual issues, the foil issues that I've got of Street Fighter and Darkstalkers. Not a lot. I think altogether I've probably got about 10, maybe under 10 if I'm not mistaken. But yes, I get this, and obviously they kind of remain the same size after issue 3. Actually, I think issue 3 is a little bit thicker than these, but yeah. And the last one was the final round, Street Fighter, with a Kuma on the front, issue 6. And yeah, when did this one come out? Okay, so there's no date in the back. Anyhow, but yes. So basically, so these 6 books basically is the whole of the Street Fighter run. Like just the Street Fighter run, not Street Fighter 2, not Street Fighter Turbo, not anything else, just Street Fighter. So as you already probably gathered, I actually missed a lot, so these were very important to me, very important to me, and I probably got a lot of these from Forbidden Planet or Orbital Comics or something back in the day. But yeah, and then as I was saying before, you know, got this one. I think this was only one, like just one issue. This was Street Fighter Legends Shakira, and obviously I've only got like 6 issues. I think this might, is this the whole thing? Yeah, so this is actually the whole thing, but obviously I just needed a graphic novel, because the thing with me is that I get the individual issues, comics, I read them, then once I read them I kind of seal them and I don't open them again, and after that I tend to, like, if it's something that I really love, I will go and get graphic novels so I can just read any time. I'm not particularly too fussed about a lot of these, but you know, I had to get that because that Shakira is another one of my favourite characters. It was especially in Alpha, like in Street Fighter Alpha or Zero, depending on what region or part of the world you are from. Was it Kurin and Shakira were like probably like my favourite. Oh, and Cammy, they were like my favourite characters. You know, anyhow, and then we've got book 3. I'm actually missing book 2, so I'm still missing book 2 now. So this is Street Fighter Legends about Ibiki. So, you know, had to get this. There was, I think, issue 2, book 2 should be Chun-Li. I had some Chun-Li issues, but I can't remember where they've gone. I might have lost them or something, I don't know. And then we've got the Street Fighter 5, or 4 should I say. This, and I miss a lot of these, so a lot of these issues that I just don't have at all, so I needed to get these. Well, this book should I say, I needed to get this one, and actually now I'm actually here looking at them. I need to get book 2 of Street Fighter Legends, so yes, that's a go up on the list, because I need book 2 now I think about it. But yes, this one, really cool, same art animation. Sometimes what happens is that the artist would change sometimes halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, and I can't remember the artist's name right now, because but the art was okay, but it's not as good as the original artists and stuff. So yeah, and last but not least, Darkstalkers, one of my favourites. So you can see it's got the foil cover, the foil look. Yeah, see, some of these were actually just published by like Udon Entertainment Productions, and some of them were just published by, it's weird, I think earlier they were published by Devil Dude. No, sorry, was it Devil's Dude? Then later on they just, you know, Udon was just publishing them, which is weird, because it's like, I don't know, like maybe it was a co-venture thing, or maybe it was like an umbrella company under Udon something. But yeah, there was only a short mini-series. I think this is the whole 6 if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, definitely one of my favourites. So yes, so this is basically my whole gaming comic book collection. I don't have any more, but whenever it's a game that I'm really into and they release comics, I'm on it like brown rice, like brown on brown rice. That's how I'm on it. Like I'm on it, like, you know. But yeah, so I think that's about it really. Yeah, anyhow, so as I always say, you know, if you live in the UK or Europe or whatever, you can go to your local comic book stores, go to Forbidden Planet, Orbital Comics, Gosh, A Place in Space, go pick that up. And like I was saying before, if you buy it online, most of the time you get free back on board, so that's really cool. So yeah, and if not, then just go on eBay wherever you are in the world and just order it online, or if you can, go to your local comic book stores and find out if they have any of these comics or graphic novels, and if they don't, then see if you can order it, or if not, go on eBay, because eBay is a cool place. You can pick up a lot of comics and stuff like that. But before we wrap this up, I am actually doing a giveaway, because yes, I'm doing a giveaway basically, and it's going to be the Street Fighter 2 Turbo collection. So basically, how many issues are these? Actually, let me have a quick look. Okay, so there's basically 7 issues. I don't think it's all of them, but it's just 7. And basically we've got issue 1. This is what issue 1 looks like, really cool. 2. I've got issue 3, which is really cool. There's issue 4, issue 5, and 6 and 7, which is really cool. So I'm actually doing a giveaway, and the details will be up on Instagram and Twitter, so go and check out our Instagram and Twitter accounts, Sorta Casual Games. And yes, basically we're giving away these comics. There'll be like a competition or something, I don't know, something basic or easy, you know, like nothing particularly hard. And yeah, and you can have a chance to win these comics, and we will send it to you. And yeah, that's that. Anyway, so I'd like to thank you for watching Sorta Casual Games. You know, this is our comic booky segment or whatever, I don't even know. I just wanted to show you my gaming comic book collection. And yeah, and please drop some comments down below if you're into comics, you read comics, but you also love games and stuff like that. And do you have any gaming comics? And if so, like, what comics do you have? Let me know, because to be honest with you, I don't particularly know that many people that actually have gaming comics, like comic books that are based on games. Most people just got like Marvel and DC and Image and, you know, the other you know, publishers and that's out there and stuff like that. So, you know, please let me know what gaming comic books you have. I'd be very much interested to find out. You never know, maybe you can trade or something, you know, or maybe you got something that I haven't got, or vice versa, you can trade or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm rambling along. I'm gonna go. So my name is Jay, aka MrGhostProtocol, and I said before, thank you for watching Sorta Casual Games. This my comic book collection segment, or whatever it's going to be called. And yes, and please subscribe, give us likes, you know, click on that bell so you know you're up to date with all the Sorta Casual Games you know, videos that come out. And yeah, that's that. So thank you for watching.